Hello and welcome to my North Knit Corner podcast. This is episode 15. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my knitting and my knitting journey. Welcome if you have been here before, and welcome if you are here for the first time. I hope you have a little while to spend with me today. I have some finished objects, I have some whips and some acquisitions. So I hope you have your knitting or your crocheting and something to drink, and yeah, then we can just have a little time together. Is that right? Yeah. As per usual, I struggle with some words, but you are very patient with me, so I am very thankful for that. And as usual, I will have timestamps below, so you can just skip ahead if you don't want to listen to my waffling. Cheers. Yes. You can find me on social media. You can find me on Instagram as my North Knit Corner. I am on Ravelry as my not as my North Knit Corner, but as Strikkekroken Pod. And I have a group there for this podcast called my North Knit Corner podcast. Not much is happening there, but the group is there. So it's been a while since I presented myself. So if it's any new viewers, I thought I could say a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Anne, from the south of Norway, in a little town called Vennesla. I am married. Been married for 18 years. I'm 41 years old. I have 3 boys, or we have 3 boys. They are 6 years old, 14 years old, and 16 years old. And I am not working anymore because I had lymphoma 12 years ago now. I'm cancer free now, but I have a lot of side effects of the chemotherapy, so I can't work anymore. I have low energy, some muscle pain, yeah. So it's although I worked 6 years full time after the cancer, after my last pregnancy, it was really difficult to go back to work, and my fatigue and everything got really bad. So I haven't been able to go back to work, and so now I'm just home. But that's life. Nothing to do about that. So then I'm knitting and making podcasts, and I have got a lot of joy and a lot of friends in the knitting community, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Yeah. So that's me, I think. I don't think it's much more to say. I'm not very exciting. I'm mostly knitting, watching podcasts, and taking care of my family. That's me in a nutshell, I think. No, I do other stuff too. Play the saxophone in the school marching band sometimes. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, being a part of a knitting community is very it's been very important to me, and it makes me feel included in something, because I don't have the energy to go out and do a lot. I can't be a part of a workplace. I don't have colleagues, and that's sorrow, and I miss that a lot. So being a part of like the podcast world, or like the knitting podcast world, and Instagram, and yeah, I feel I have made friends in the knitting community all over the world, and sharing the passion and the love for yarn and knitting, and yeah, that means a lot. So I'm very grateful for all of you guys, and yeah, so thank you. That was a lot of rambling about me and about knitting and knitting community, and I don't know. So let's get started with the knitting stuff, shall we? I am wearing a Friday slipover V-neck today. It's designed by Kredit, and I knitted it last year in March, I think. It was before I knew that Ravelry existed, before I started podcasting, and I didn't write anything down. I was on Instagram, so I know that I knitted it in Sanne's Sunday, which is merino yarn, and Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, but I don't know the colors. I think the Sanne's Sunday is in the colorway Hit, but that's about it. Yes. I think if I was supposed to knit it again, I would go down a size. This is the size medium, I think. And I think I would have knitted a small, because it does have a lot of space. It's a lot of positive ease. And that's something I learned about Kredit's patterns, is that I like to knit the size small, because she likes a lot of positive ease in her patterns, and I don't like a lot of positive ease, so I want the small, and the small also gives me a little bit positive ease, although I'm supposed to knit medium if I go by her measurements, but I like the small when I knit her patterns. Yeah, but it's I like it. I use it not often, but I use it sometimes. I like slipovers. I think they are nice, maybe nicer on other people. I think other people look great in slipovers. I have 4 or 5 slipovers in my closet, and I think they're really cool on other people, especially with dresses. And I really want to use a dress with a slipover, but I don't always feel as cool as I think other people are. but it's in here. I don't know. It's the self-image I have to work on, so yeah. But I'm using it today, so that's good. So that's what I'm wearing. I just have to turn my notes. And let's go on finished objects. So my first FO is the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and Pearl Soho has a lot of free patterns on Ravelry. So a lot of great free patterns. Actually, like the half and half wrap and triangles wrap. Yeah. I knitted this for my 6-year-old. He bought a yarn on a, or I bought it, but he chose a yarn this summer when we visited a yarn shop in another place in Norway this summer called Garnfene, which is translated to the yarn fairies. And they hand dye yarn themselves. So this yarn is a glitter sock yarn called Midtvinter or Midwinter, and he chose that yarn himself. So this is one strand with the Midwinter yarn and one strand Filcolano Arvetta in the colorway Ice Blue, 340 I think the number is. So here it is, classic ribbed hat. So it's like this. I think it turned out really good. It's the size adult small, and we put on a pom-pom that I had. It's with this of course I don't know the word in English. It's reflex. Yeah, it lights in the dark, so when you're out walking in the dark and a car comes, they can see you. So that's nice. Especially when it gets really dark here in Norway in the winter. So it's really dark all the time. So that's good to be seen. So he's really happy with this. He was really annoyed at me this morning when he couldn't wear this to school because I told him I had to show you guys. So I told him he can have it tomorrow, but he was really yeah. That's the classic ribbed hat. Yeah, weighs only 70 grams, so not much yarn because it's 2 strands, so only 35 grams of each. That's not a lot. And he came, my little boy, he was so annoyed with me this morning when I called him little. I'm not little. He's my youngest, so he will always be my small baby. Anyway, he came in here and he watched my yarn. He do that often, and he said, "Mom, I want you to make me a headband of this yarn." And it sparkles, and everything that sparkles he wants something of. And I said, "I'm sorry, but I have a plan with this yarn, so you can't have something of this." "Okay, but I want something of this then." I said, "I'm sorry, but you can't because I have a plan with this yarn." And he was so angry. He was just, And I said, "But I have some more of the midwinter yarn that I made the hat from." And I have another yarn that I made some socks for him that I can make you something of. And I have this metallic thread that I can put in so it looks like it sparkles. And he was, I don't know. And then he saw that I had some drops merino extra fine in a colorway turquoise. And he said, can you use this then? And I said, yes, I can use that. Okay, then I want mittens, or like with finger, I don't know what you call that. Is it mittens or finger? In Norway we call it fingervanter, finger mittens, or something like that. What do you call it? Just mittens when it's fingers. I will show you and you can tell me what it's called. And I said, yes, I can try. I've never done that before, but I can see. So I went on Ravelry to see if there was a free pattern, and there, of course, it was. So I found this. I speak Norwegian and English, and I found a Swedish pattern called Emil's fingervantar. Emil's mittens. It's Swedish, only Swedish, I'm sorry. And it's a design by Lillemor Elfgreen. Elfgreen. So I tried that. And I took the drops merino extra fine. It's colorway 29. Turkish, not Turkish. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a rambly episode, this one. I'm sorry. Maybe some coffee will help. I already made a Norwegian podcast episode before I filmed this one, so maybe that's the problem. Not Turkish, turquoise. Is that right? And I took this metallic Madeira thread. It's the colorway 324, and this is no fun to knit with. But I did it for my boy. And the first one is like this. And he had a special order. On these fingers, he wanted the midwinter yarn from the yarn fairies or garnfene on the fingers. So he got that, and I never made or knitted fingers before. So I had to check out YouTube a tutorial, and I love YouTube because there are tutorials for everything. So I didn't understand the pattern, but when I saw the YouTube video and read the pattern, then it made sense and it was easy. So here they are. And then he said, on the other one, I want the Garn Butikken Fortuna, which is another yarn store that also hand-dye yarn. Another place in Norway, which I had a yarn from, called Resa. And here is why I don't like this metallic thread. I don't know if you can see it, but here it is. They just suddenly are loose on the wild. I have to. So I had Resa on the other mitten. So they are not similar, but that's how we wanted them. Yes. So now he has some mittens. There's nothing much to say. Knitted them on 2.5mm needles. Took 2 days. 1 day for this, 1 day for this. Fast knit. Yes. So that was that. And there was a lot of sizes, but it is in Swedish. But it was very easy. And actually, I had to use Google Translate to understand, because even though Norwegian and Swedish are fairly similar, there was words that I didn't understand. So I used my Google Translate, and I used the camera function and just hold it over to find out what it meant. And even then, it didn't make sense. So maybe you can try that if you want to make them. But I'm sure there are better ways to, or better patterns in English as well to make them. Okay, and then my next finished object is the Calville shawl by Merryweather Knitting, the lovely Gabriella, who also have a podcast called, of course, Merryweather Knitting. And this is a beautiful Calville shawl, which I am making for the Across the Pond Shawl Cal, which is hosted by the lovely Ruth of the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast and Fernanda in Little Monkeys and Me. Oh boy. Okay. Little Monkeys and Me. Oh, she had a new episode yesterday. Beautiful Fernanda and her sweet sister-in-law, and it was so good to see you again, Fernanda. So check it out if you haven't already. And my shawl is done. It is semi-blocked because I realized I need more blocking mats. I only have this play mat that that is like with this it's cars and planes and stuff that you go out of the play mat. I don't know if I describe it so you understand it, but they go out of there. It's a mess. Anyway, I need more because I never knitted a shawl this big before and I didn't have enough, so I semi-blocked it, but it's okay. I can just block it again when I get more blocking mats. And like I said in the last episode, for those who saw that one, I wasn't sure I had enough yarn, and I didn't. Not nearly enough yarn. It's supposed to knit in be knitted in DK weight yarn, and I think it's about 600 meters of yarn you need, and I didn't have nearly enough. I knit this in Vidde lamb's wool yarn, and it's thicker than DK, and I knew that. And I told the lady that I bought this beautiful yarn from that I needed DK, and she said, okay, I don't have that, but I have something else that's a little thicker, and she gave me what I thought I need. I didn't check it, of course, and I didn't have enough. But the yarn is beautiful. It's plant dyed by Vide Plantefargeri, which is a Norwegian plant dyer who is just amazing. Oh, it's so beautiful. I just love these colors. Oh, it's green and it's purple, and I hope you really get to see it. Anyways, I didn't have enough, so we had to get creative. So I went to my local yarn shop. It's called Strikkedilla, and I asked for some help. I took the shawl with me, and I got some great help. And we were looking at different yarns, and we found some Rauma Vams, which is 100% Norwegian wool, and Sandnes Sisu, which is like a sock yarn, 80% wool and 20% polyamide, I think. And it's the Rauma Vams is the colorway is 306, and it's called Rein Lav Melert. And the other one is 55, the Sisu is 5524, and it's a light purple. Because it's purple in this, and I wanted, but the lady in the store, she said, why not take the purple and have it go in the rest, like, yeah. And so it's lighter, but I think it's really nice. So I will try to show you. It's really big, and I will put in pictures at the end of the episode, so maybe you can see it better then. But let's see if I can show you some of my shawl. I don't know what you are seeing right now because I can't see it. But I hope you see something. Hello? Oh, sorry. I just think this shawl is just so gorgeous, and it's so big. Oh, I see ends I haven't cut. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and this pattern is just so well written. It's so easy to understand, easy to memorize. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So Gabriella has done such a good job, and I feel like even though it's lighter, this edge I got here, I think it's just went so well together. So I don't think it really mattered that it's different from the plant dyed yarn. So this is my entry for the Across the Pond shawl cal. Do I have anything else to say? Just looking at my notes. I didn't knit the last two sections of the moss section at the end because I was playing Yarn Chicken with my last ball of Rauma Vams, and I wasn't very keen on buying one more ball of Vams. I'd bought 5 skeins of it, and I wasn't really wanting to buy one more because just for 2 more rounds and then the cast off. So I thought, okay, I can just skip the 2 last ones and bind off. But then for the bind off, I didn't really have enough, so and then I thought, okay, can I use Rauma Finull that I had in light gray? And I tried, but it was too light, and you could see it really. And then the Rauma Vams is 2 threads together. Yeah. So what I did was, with the last end that I had, I separated it and I took it together with 1 strand of Finull and cast off, and you can't see it. It's totally fine. So I used every all of the Rauma Vams I had, and some Finull. So that's Yarn Chicken that I didn't really want, but I just took some phenol together with the bumps, and yeah. So that's my Calville shawl, and I'm unsure if I'm going to use it, because it's not because I love it. I think it's beautiful, but I think it's a shawl that you have to use like this. I use shawls and scarves, but I'm not used to this big shawls. Oh, this was really nice. Oh, my coffee is cold. I'm not the person who sits out much when it gets colder, because if I was the kind of person who sat out on a fall night or a fall day, I could have used this like this. I don't know. But I don't know how to use a shawl like this. But it's beautiful. I love it. But I don't know how to use it. I'm not... I think it's really beautiful. And I can't use it the other way around. It's too bulky. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Last night I dreamt about having a shawl wall. I have a very big entryway, and I could have a big wall in my hallway with shawls. I can just knit shawls and have them like hanging in the hallway for display. That would be nice. I can knit them and they can just hang there for decoration. That can be an idea. I don't know. But I think it's really beautiful. I'm very happy with it. And we'll see. I could give it to someone, but I don't know who. My mom would love it, but she's not here anymore, so yeah. I don't know. But it's done and it's going in the cal, so that's good. Okay, my next object, thing, knit, is supposed to be a whip, but yesterday when I wrote my podcast notes, this was a whip, so it's on my whip list. But I tried it on yesterday and I was on the body and it fits so good, and I knitted it. The body was done yesterday evening, 6 o'clock last night. Started on the arms, and it's like a it's a 3/4, is that right? Length arm. And so it's not so long, and it's on 6mm needles, so it's a fast knit. And I was done with that like 10 o'clock last night, and I knitted the other, and at 11 I was like, oh, I really want to finish this, and I knitted, and at midnight I was done with it, and I thought, oh, this was stupid. But I really wanted to finish it. So it's finished, but the ends are not woven in, and it's not washed, and it's not blocked. So that's almost done, but not totally done. And it's the Love Note pattern by Dreamknit. And here it is. So I feel like it looks like a children's sweater, but it is for me. And it fits really well. Yeah, it's knitted in yarn from Garnfene, same place as the yarn that I knitted the classic ribbed hat in. And it's the sock yarn called Wisteria, and together with the Viking Kid Silk in the colorway light pink, number 364. I knitted the size small, and it's on 6mm needles, so it's a fast. When you get done with the structure pattern, the stockinette goes really fast. So I think I was like here maybe yesterday, and I knitted all of this and the arms yesterday. So I mean, and of course I knitted some hours, but it's really fast. So, but I am. This is the long version, and the long version is pretty short too. And I didn't want it very long, but I didn't want it maybe this short. And of course I should have tried it on again before I cast off. I didn't do that because I was in a hurry to finish it. I know, it's stupid. So I'm a bit unsure. I made a little video on myself trying this on, so maybe you could see if you think I should knit a little bit longer, because I can't have it too short. I'm too old to have it too short. I mean, I am past 40. So it's, my pants are high waist, and it's just in the lining. So it's longer in the back because it has short rows. So it is longer in the back, but it's maybe a hair too short in the front. I don't know. But then I'm thinking, it is superwash yarn. So when I wash it and block it, maybe it will be a tad longer. So what do you think? Should I wash it and block it first and see? And maybe then take it back and knit again? Or knit it longer? Or should I take it back now and knit it longer now? Because it's not much. I don't want it too long. I want it short, but maybe not this short. So maybe 1 or 2 centimeters longer, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm so happy with the fit. Yeah, it's perfect. I did learn a new technique, wrap and turn. It's a short row, yeah, technique I never done before, so I had to do a YouTube tutorial again. Perfect. I'm not sure. I do prefer the German short row technique, but I thought maybe the wrap and turn was a way that I had to do it to get like the rounded way, but maybe not. I'm not sure. So I just did it. But I think I do like the German short row way, but I did it and it's okay. Yeah, so you see it's longer in the back. So I'm not sure if I'm going to knit it longer or block it first. So any thoughts would be, or opinions from you guys would be appreciated. So this is also going in knit along that our Norwegian podcaster has. It's called lapskaus cal, which is lapskaus. It's Norwegian stew, like a dinner stew, with potatoes and maybe sausage or meat and vegetables, and like a really traditional dish. So she has you can knit either love note, ranunculus, or this or the new one to vest knit. It's a jacket or a sweater, marled sweater. I'm not sure, but it's 3 different, so that's why she called it lapskaus knit along, because it's different things. So a stew. So that's fun. So I'm very happy with this. It's really, I love the color, and yeah. So it just need a wash and block, or yeah. And I have 90 grams left of this wisteria. So when I had 2 skeins, well, that's a lot. I used just a little over 1 skein. So, but maybe I have to use a little bit more. We'll see. And then we can go to my works in progress. I was knitting on baby pants, the Polly Baba pants by A Knit Story. I'm not going to show you those because I had to rip it all back and start again because of gauge. My gauge was way off. They were way too big. So I had to start again. I had to go down to 2mm needles. Oh, they're so tiny. Yeah, so I have knitted back to about the same place that I was last time. So I'm not going to show you those until I have done more work on them, because it's no use to show you exactly the same as last time. The only difference is that now they're a bit smaller and maybe more right in the gauge, or they are right in the gauge this time. But anyway, let's go to something more interesting, like the champagne cardigan by Petite Knit that I'm knitting for my friend. In June, middle of June, I was in England, as I told you a few episodes ago, and I was there with a lot of friends, and one of my friends is from England, and she was the one who planned this trip for us. She ordered our plane tickets, she organized the place to stay, she organized all the things that or the programs, and like taxi, and yeah, found out the bus things and everything. So we wanted to thank her, but flowers are nice, but they die. So we wanted to give her like a gift that can last, and someone had the idea that we could give her a knitted garment. And that wasn't me, but someone asked me if I could knit her something, and of course I could, or can. So the other friends, they pay for the yarn and I knit. And my friend and I, this friend who planned the trip, we went to a yarn shop together, and she picked out the pattern. She wanted the champagne cardigan, and she picked the yarn and the color. So she picked Sunny's Double Sunday, and Sandnes Tynn silk mohair in the colorway 9071. Both are the same in the dusty green color. So here it is. Okay, here it is. So she just tried it on a few days ago, so it's all on wires and it fits perfectly, so that's good. Always a bit scary. But we have taken measurements, so it should be fine, and it was. So now I'm going to knit the ribbing. Thank you for that, because I'm so tired of knitting back and forth. So I'm not looking forward to the bottom band too much, but because it's like a double knitting, or yeah. So I've heard that it can be fiddly, but I hope it will go okay. But it's just ribbing and the arms and the bottom band, and it's done. Yeah, that will be good. That's my focus knit, because I really want to finish it for her soon, so she can enjoy it this fall and winter. And then I'm knitting on a summer day top. It's a design by a Norwegian designer and podcaster called Hilde Sørum. I'm sad to say it's only in Norwegian, and that's, I wish it was in English, because this is a really size inclusive pattern. She has 18 sizes, and I think that's so impressive. It's from 82 centimeters to 166 centimeters bust. Yeah. 18 sizes. It's knit on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles, so fairly small needles, but it goes pretty fast anyway. And I'm knitting in it's another Norwegian hand dyer, and it's a sock yarn that I'm using, and the color is called or the hand dyer is called Kvitlamme, and the colorway is called Summer Mellow. So the yarn looks like this. And I've had the yarn for over a year, and the pattern I actually won in like in her podcast a year ago, I think. And the yarn I bought for this pattern a year ago, so I had it for a long time. But now I finally am knitting it, and it's knitted bottom up. My biggest, I don't love it. I prefer top down, but it's a really good pattern. It's well written, it's easy to understand, so it goes really great. So it's like a whole pattern or structure pattern in the bottom. I can put in a picture of how it's going to be. Right now it's just plain stockinette. So it will be better when it's blocked. So this is, well, this is the side, so it's not so easy to see, but So soon I'm going to knit the arms, so I can put in a picture. So this is the summer day top. Yeah. Not so much more to say about that. Not yet, anyway. So we can talk a little bit about plans and acquisitions. So in October and November, the lovely Hannah in Herb Garden Knitwear is going to have a shawl cal. For those who are not participating in the West Knit, just having some more coffee here. For those who are not joining the West Knits MCAL and don't really like maybe mystery cals, she is having a shawl cal with her shawl designs, and I wanted to join. I think it's a perfect opportunity to knit one of her beautiful shawls, and she's so generous that she has 25% off her shawl patterns. So if you go into her Instagram account, all the info is there. So I will write her Instagram handle here somewhere, and you can go and check it out if you are interested. So I ordered some yarn because I want to knit the Ardent. I have to check, what is it called? Ardent. Oh, hello. Where did I write it? Ardent Autumn Shawl. And I ordered drops soft tweed. I saw that Emily Kate made this. It's one of my I have so many favorite podcasts. I think all of them are my favorite, but she is also one of my favorites. She has a podcast, Emily Kate made this. Beautiful, funny, sweet Emily. She sews. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, but she makes the most beautiful dresses. She has the most fun fabrics, and she knits the most fun things, and I just love it. Yeah, so check her out if you haven't already. She knits a shawl in this yarn, Humblebee shawl, I think, in this drops soft tweed. It's in a natural color, white, something like that, and I think it's so beautiful, and so I wanted to try it for my shawl, and so I ordered this, and it's the color is carrot cake, which I thought was very fun name. The number is, maybe I wrote it here, 18, and I thought it was very beautiful and autonomous, not an animal. Yeah, it's a really good color for autumn. So I think it will be perfect for that shawl and perfect for fall. So I'm very excited to cast on, ready for the cal. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to join Hannah's cal. So check out Herb Garden Knitwear and join the cal if you're not joining the West Knits cal, or you can join both. Maybe you want to join both, that's an option too. And I'm excited to see all others who are joining both Hannah's Cal and Westnit's Cal, because even though I'm not joining the Westnit's Cal, I always think it's very fun to see everyone else's shawls. I am not, I think it's fun to join mystery cals sometimes, but I can't join the Westnit's Cal because I know that it can be crazy. Is that okay to say? So yeah, but I love to see other people knit it, and I think that's very fun to see how they look and how different they look, and yeah, so that will be fun. And I also bought, when I bought the yarn for the shawl, I also bought this Dale Lerche. It's merino wool and cotton in sharp green, the color 8163, and I bought this to make the Spring Bloom Tea by Christina Larsos, because I had yarn for that I used for the souffle tea instead. So I just bought some new yarn for that Spring Bloom Tea. But I'm not going to make it for maybe next year or something. But now I have it. And I love this. I'm not sure if I can. I just thought it was really fun. And I have been on like a yarn event, not a knitting group, but a yarn event, a day which was just a knit and chat day maybe, at the place Garnfene, or the Yarn Fairies store had. It's a place it's a 3-hour drive for me, but it was a whole day event, so I went together with another lady from this town that I'm living in. She also has a podcast, but it's in Norwegian. But we went to this yarn event, and I of course bought some yarn. My son, he chose yarn online, or he watched online before I went, so he can have some more mittens and headband and stuff like that. And of course it sparkles, and it's this, and it's called Heksetimen, and if I translate it, it's called Witch Hour. It's really beautiful. Is it a dark blue? It sparkles, almost purple, blue, dark. Yeah. So excited to knit with this to him, for him. And I bought some yarn for myself, of course, in this knit along, where I made my love note, which is called lapskaus, which is stew in English. We also can make a ranunculus, and I'm going to knit a ranunculus. Yeah, you know, that popular pattern that everyone has made, but not me. I'm going to make it. And I decided on this one. It's called Ola, and in Norwegian we call jeans, like jeans that we wear, jeans, Ola bukse, Ola pants. Yeah, we call this Ola pants, Ola bukse. So that's why they are called Ola. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, That's why these are called Ola, because so I'm going to use this for ranunculus, and I just have to find yarn to go together with this, a mohair or something. Yeah, so that's the plan. Hopefully before December, so I can use it in December. Yeah. Is there something more? And when we got to this yarn event, we could choose a mini, and they had minis in a lot of different colors, so it was really hard to choose, but I chose this green one, so it was really nice. So that. And I went to we had a podcast meetup for the podcasters who are in the south and the east of Norway. So we are not many podcasters in the south, actually. There are just me and the one who is also from Vennesla, or in the same town as me, but she couldn't come. So actually it's just me. And there are a lot of people in the east of Norway. So we had a meetup in a place called Rygge. So it's about 5 hours to drive for me. And on my way there, I picked up another podcaster who unfortunately had her car broke down a few days before we went to this podcast. So she actually was like, really, I can't come because my car doesn't work. And so I said I can come and pick you up, and so I did that. And she makes project bags, and she said you can pick a project bag because you were so nice to come and pick me up. And so I picked this one. I thought it was so I really like it because it's really retro. I really like this one. So that was really nice. Yeah. So lately I have been looking a little bit on my yarn wall here. I think I've showed you this. Yeah, I think so. I have a wall here with some yarn, and I have been like thinking, what can I make with some of the yarn that I have here? I've been dreaming a little bit. So I have a couple of things that I really want to knit. I'm not sure when. Hopefully soon, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself, and I don't have all the yarn yet, but I have I want to use the point is I want to use yarn I have, because I have some single skeins, like hand-dyed yarn that I bought, a skein here, a skein there, and I want to use them. So it's kind of Dreamknit, loosely plans. So I thought maybe I can share them with you. Maybe you have some input for me. I always love it if you have some ideas. Like when I asked for some shawl ideas for some yarn I had, and I got some very good ideas, so I have taken note and put it in my favorites in Ravelry. So I have some plans, and I don't know when, but I absolutely gonna knit some of those in the future, I hope. And the first is Shifty by Andrea Mowry. There is a Norwegian podcaster that is going to have a knit along for that now. So that's why I was like, ooh, maybe I should knit it now. But I do have some plans for some gift knits for Christmas as well. So I'm not sure. But I do have 2 skeins with beautiful hand-spun yarn from Brie in Doodlebug Yarn Co., who has the podcast Knit and Spin with Bree. Oh, they are so gorgeous, and I look at them almost every day and think, oh, I really want to knit with them soon. I've had them for quite a while, and I bought one of them and I got one as a gift. I'm so in love with them. And I want to use them in a shifty because I think that would be really beautiful. I think I've shown you this before, but I think this will be really beautiful. And I need like a main color, and I asked some friends, and one said maybe like a real sheep, natural sheep, Norwegian sheep color. Like I'm sure the other sheeps in the world look the same, but like a beige, gray, light gray color could be like a main color. And someone said like yellow. So I have seen like a honey yellow that I thought maybe could go as another, not like a main color, but as a third contrast color, and maybe the beige gray as a main color. I'm not sure, but I have to. What do you think? Do you have ideas for something together with these two to go in a shifty? I would really love some input because these two are going in the shifty. So anything else has to be built around this for sure. But there are plenty here. So I have like 499 yards in this one and 540 yards in this one. So that's shifty. Andrea Maury, did I say that? Yes, so that's one Dreamknit, but it's not just a dream, it's going to be. I bought the pattern, so I'm making it, but I'm not sure when, but sooner rather than later, I hope. And it's another pattern that I want to make. It's not really a hurry, but I would love to have it for Christmas because it's Christmas colors, I feel. And this pattern, or I saw the yarn, I thought about the pattern, or I knew I had seen something somewhere that I thought, oh, that would be so nice. And that was the skeins that I told my son he couldn't have. And these skeins I just bought because I love them. It's from Spøtegarn, which is a Norwegian hand dyer. It's glitter, sparkles yarn, and I think they go so well together. I did buy them together, but it's from the same hand dyer. And you see, I don't know if you can see, but they have like this white one has some gold speckles in them, and I thought it went very well together with this one. And then I have this, which is from Manos del Uruguay, which is the colorway Cool. It's also a sock yarn. Or this is not the sock yarn. Yes, it is. I'm just kidding. It is a sock yarn. Yes, and I thought, oh, these three could be nice. And I thought, oh, I've seen something with like this dark with some contrasts in the pattern, like this, and I couldn't remember. I saw it in how it looked, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And I looked on Ravelry, and I just couldn't find out what it was called. I couldn't, and I knew I had seen something, and I just couldn't find it. And then I was watching Amy Palko in the Meaningful Stitch podcast the other day, and there it was, lapis. It's Yamagara who has the design. Thank you, Amy Palko. Because that was the one. And I think it's where I saw it before too. It's in the Meaningful Stitch podcast. She has shown it before. Because it's dark. The picture there is dark. I can put in a picture. And yeah. And I want to use this in as the colors, contrast colors. But it's not enough with one skein in the dark of the main color. So I can't use this. That's too bad. So I have to maybe buy something else. I'm not sure. That's so sad that I have to buy more yarn. But I want to make this one. And then if I can buy something to use this, maybe it's... If not, I won't get to use this. Yes, I will, but you know. And I can make my husband's socks with this, so that's fine. Yes. But I want to make a lapis. So that's my dreams and my loosely plans, and yeah. So live stuff maybe, because that's all the yarn and my whips and bows and acquisitions, and I think. So I went to this podcast meetup, and that was really nice. We were, I think, 23 people there. As I said, I had to drive I actually drove on Saturday. The meetup was on Sunday, and I had to drive a little longer because I picked up another podcaster. And she lives a little bit out of the way from me. So I drove there, but that was very nice. And she drove from her house until to the place we were going. So that was good. So it was, I think, maybe 7 hours. And we stayed at the place we were having the meetup. At the lady who had the meetup, so we got to spend the night there. That was very nice, and there were a few other podcasters there as well. And we went to another house and had some pizza and just knitted, and it was very nice. And then the meetup was on Sunday, and yeah, we were like 23 Norwegian podcasters together there, and it was really nice. Just knitting and talking, and it's just such a nice community. And yeah, and there was a yarn shop that came with her yarn, or the lady who runs the yarn shop, she came with a lot of yarn to the place we were, and I brought some of my hand-dyed yarn. I only hand dye in a small scale, but I brought my yarn, and some people who make project bags brought them and sold. So we had different things we could buy if we wanted to, and that was very fun. And yeah, and then I drove home in the evening, 5 hours. So when I came home, I was home 1 a.m. Yeah, 1 a.m. at night I was home. So I was really tired. And I used some days to become myself again. But it was worth it. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, and I went to this yarn event this weekend. That was only 3 hours to drive one way and 3 hours back, but that was a lot of fun too. And some of the ladies from the podcast meet was also there, so that was very nice. And I just love to do stuff like that sometimes, and get together with the other people who... I love this YouTube community, Instagram community, but sometimes to meet face to face is also very nice. And I wish I could go out into the world and meet all of you guys. That would be great. Maybe one day. But yeah, just to meet face to face and knit and talk, and that's very nice too. So that was great. And otherwise there's not a lot going on. My kids are back at school, and the life is or I am home, so, but I feel life is pretty hectic even though I'm not working. The days flies, and my kids, they are yeah, getting older, and they have things to do all the time, and there are parent meetings, and yeah, I feel it's always a lot of stuff that are happening anyway. So yeah, but that's good. Things are happening again. No lockdowns, and that's good. Yeah. All right, I've talked enough. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to me, and for being here and knitting. I hope you have been knitting on something you love, or crocheting, or whatever, and you're knitting something you love, and that you are doing well wherever you are, whatever time of the year it is for you, fall, winter, summer. And yeah, take care of yourself. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and for commenting. I really want to listen. I really want to know what you're working on, what you're knitting on, crocheting on. That's always fun. I am talking about everything I'm doing, so I really want to know what you are working on. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. So until next time, take care, and happy knitting. See ya.